Hey, we all know why we're here, so let's just skip the intro nonsense and do this thing. As far as I'm concerned, BrickLink is the most useful tool for a LEGO fan out there. Not only is it the website to purchase any type of LEGO element or set that you want, it is also the definitive LEGO database. It is even better than LEGO's own records, and I imagine that's the reason why they actually ended up buying the platform in the first place. Now, I'm kidding, they just want complete control over the secondary market. The website has gotten significantly less confusing over the last few years, but there's still a ton of information here that can be completely overwhelming when you first get on the site. But at the end of the day, this is the most important thing right here. So let's go ahead and just search for something fairly generic, and I'll show you how this works and how you can make it more precise. If you're looking for specific parts on BrickLink, it's important to know the basic names for LEGO elements. We're talking bricks, plates, tiles, slopes, and the like. That'll at least get you started. The other thing you're gonna wanna know are the dimensions of the piece you're dealing with. So, as the most basic of examples, 2x4 brick. It will indeed bring up your standard 2x4 brick. It's also going to bring up the 2x4x3, a big squishy 2x4, a jumbo 2x4. There are all sorts of variations on this, quattro, duplo, you name it. And then you start getting printed variants, you start getting modified versions of the brick, you start getting old classic variations without the iconic tubes. The list goes on and on and on for 1,184 entries. If you're looking for a brick with a specific print on it, it really helps if that print or sticker has a number or word, as that will be directly mentioned in the name. For instance, the first printed 2x4 brick that comes to mind is the printed 2x4x3 Legoland Discovery one. There you go, it comes up right there. So it's got Discovery, of course, written on it, so we were able to find that one and all the others fairly simply. If it's more of a pattern, it might be a little bit trickier to find. And that leads us to how I find most of my specific elements, and that's by the set they came in. I do this a lot for the revisiting videos, like in Mars Mission. You don't even have to know the exact set name, you can find the theme, and this will pull up all the sets from the theme. You'll also see some rather bizarre entries here from earlier things that just kind of fit the naming scheme. This is Mission to Mars, a Discovery set from 2003. If you want to narrow down the search a little bit, omit some of these more outlandish suggestions, you can see that there's no shortage of things to click on here on BrickLink. So you can see space, and then Mars Mission, specifically the sub-theme of space. And then you'll get all the sets here, and then you can see these beautiful images and click on something you recognize. Let's say we're looking for a part here, that wheel in particular. We're missing one for our armored drilling unit. We have 5 out of 6. We need one last one. We can click on this, and then up here we can click on the inventory and break down all of that from the sticker sheet to every little thing, including the extra pieces that would have been included in the set. So it's by default sorted by color. So we can find our orange wheels here pretty simply. It is called Orange Wheel Hard Plastic. We might have been able to figure that out, but I never would have guessed it for 71 millimeters. It's huge. Giant even. So we can click on this right here. That's the part number. And then it's going to bring up all the store listings. There's a lot. There's 126 different stores selling this item in various quantities. You can set minimum quantity. If you need more than one thing, you're missing all 6. You can set for 6. Very important here. I wish this wasn't buried under the More Options tab, but to actually select a regional seller to save by using domestic shipping. That's going to be very useful for all the orders that you do. Because yes, it might cost 24 cents in the Netherlands, but how much is it going to cost to ship that to your home country? A lot more than 24 cents. It's a big part too, so it's going to come in a box. It's probably going to cost like $10, $20 to ship it. Who knows? So let's search by USA, and we can find that we've got all the stores that have at least 6 listed here, ranked in order of lowest price to highest price. So don't buy from Blue Blade Market here. He's charging you $12 used for what you could buy at less than $1 a piece. So they might be in great shape, but they're not worth that much. So BrickLink is nice to list this by default at lowest price, but you can also do by highest quantity. That's another useful one sometime. Bro has 63 of these things. That's insane. Now, we should talk about wanted lists, probably one of the most useful features on BrickLink. So let's say you've got one of these XML files from one of my YouTube videos for one of my custom mods, and you want to put it together with your own parts. I'm choosing the Phantom because it's the smallest. What you need to do, and this is horribly counterintuitive on BrickLink's part, is that you need to open this up in a basic text editor. You're gonna select all, and you're gonna copy the entirety of that to your clipboard. From there, and this is very important, as this is, as far as I'm aware, the only way to access this, you're gonna hover over want, and then click upload. Then click upload BrickLink XML format, and then you can paste all that nonsense into there. By default, it's going to put it into your default wanted list, but you can choose your own list. So I'm gonna put it into test list 1, and we'll click proceed to verify items. From here, you can actually exclude any items that you might already have existing in your collection. Assuming that you are an avid Minecraft fan, you probably already have the Minecraft Phantom eyes, and you don't need that. So you can go ahead and exclude that, and then you can just add everything else to that wanted list. And then we'll view test list 1. And there's all your items. So look at this scary button, buy all. Go ahead and click that. Don't worry, you won't get charged for anything quite right away. And there's a few modifiers that are well worth taking a look at up here. Again, try to keep this as regional as possible, especially for smaller wanted lists. Over here, exclude your disliked stores. Obviously, you can dislike stores. It's usually stores that are just charge obscene prices are the only kinds of stores that I actually dislike. Obviously, avoid stores that do not ship to you. This is another box too. This kind of depends here. I'm curious if this will change anything. Probably not, since our quantities are so small. But say you have on your list 10 of a certain item, but some seller only has 9 or less, they wouldn't even show up in this list. This list right here is trying to show you the most effective store to buy from, right? The store that's going to give you the most items, not necessarily at the best price, but give you the most of your items. 16 here. So there is one store in the US that's going to give you all the parts of that Phantom. Let's go back to our Mars mission wheel example from earlier, and let's say we need those Phantom parts and also one giant plastic wheel. It's very easy to add that to a wanted list. It's right here in the middle. Go ahead and hit add to wanted list. You can choose from your wanted list here. So we're going to do test list 1. You can change the quantity, you can change the color. Just be careful with the color. You're able to add any color ever to your wanted list. And you can definitely, with no problem, add colors that don't exist. Yeah, so make sure you select the correct color. And if you're just following a set's inventory, it's gonna fill that in by default in the correct color. So you don't have to worry about that. But let's go ahead and add that to the wanted list. And then the wanted list is going to function the same as when we used it earlier, in that we can buy all and we can see which stores are gonna get the closest. There is a store. Wow, one of the 15 stores also has the wheel. Look at that, for $8. Okay, so we've got all 17 of these items in our wanted list now. How do we go about choosing a store to buy these items from? No single store has all 17 items. That is all our Phantom items and the orange wheel. The easiest way to do this would be to hit auto select. It's going to put together multiple stores to give us the best prices on these items. So you can see we've got 2 stores here that meet all of our criteria here. And that's going to give us all 17 lots and the total 24 individual parts. By clicking edit, you can see exactly what's coming from which store. So this is all our generic parts, and I bet Bricks on the Dollar is going to have the 2 rarer elements, and these are indeed very good prices for these elements. You're going to end up paying a lot more in shipping for both of these orders than either costs, but it's a good start, right? But if you go to your carts, you can see your carts, and you can actually go to the stores and add more things to each of the carts, in my mind, to justify that shipping costs a little bit more. And the search here functions very similarly to the one on the BrickLink homepage. 2x4 brick will bring up all the 2x4 bricks that this store has. It will not show items that are not listed in the store. One thing to be mindful of as you look at particular stores is the feedback. Generally, any store over 99.3% is probably a great place to shop from. This store with this many orders, that's very good, high praise. Let's check out the other store. Revolution also has very, very high praise. You can view all the store's feedback in the feedback tab, and the ones that you really want to look at are the neutral and the complaints. If you see feedback like, I don't understand what is going on, that's probably not valid neutral feedback against the store, and you can disregard it and assume that this is a plenty good seller to purchase from. Things to look for would be like, they sent fake Lego, the Lego smells, the bag was packed poorly, things like that consistently happening. If you get one-offs in a sea of positives, probably not a big deal. Ultimately, you should be shopping at a store you're comfortable shopping at. There's a lot more useful information on BrickLink beyond that. One of my favorites is the color guide. There's again a wealth of information there. Look at that, 180,000 items. Crazy stuff. There's a lot of other stuff here that, for the most part, is probably not too important for someone just buying stuff off BrickLink. So don't let this all distract you. Stick to the search bar, add your stuff to wanted lists. It's gonna make your shopping so much more efficient. And yeah, let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to address specifically about questions on BrickLink, and I'll do my best to answer them. I am not a BrickLink expert by any means. There are so many tabs here that I've literally never clicked on, but I like to think I'm pretty good at buying stuff at this point, so I can lead you down that dark road if you'd like. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great life, and I'll see you later.